Welcome back to this special discussion on the road ahead for the DMK. Sushila Ravindranath, consulting editor of Financial Express, and Mr. Sudhangan, very senior journalist and Tamil writer. Mr. Sudhangan, to you first. What do you think was the DMK's biggest political blunder? Was it, in a sense, a tough posturing with the Congress, which is now back to haunt them because the boot is in the other foot now? Was it backing A. Raja, not distancing itself from A. Raja in the beginning? And only later, perhaps during Kanimuri's bail plea, actually distancing itself legally in a sense, or was it actually overconfidence, given the freebies that they had rolled out?
See, it is the business of the family members. They wanted to monopolize every trade. All the either they will be in politics in some power, like Rajya Sabha MP or two central ministers, and their grandchildren will be in some part of industry. Especially if you say people scared because every business was taken by them. No films were released. All theatres are taken by them. This gave an indication to other businessmen, if they continue in power. A hotelman said before election, "Sir, I don't belong to any party, but if they come back to power, I do not know whether I will be able to hold on my hotel. Somebody will take off my hotel." This type of fear first, the family's business intervention. The freebies and all, people have clear, and that too the Kalanjar's TV, one of the freebies is free television. In the free television, the women, the remote women in the village, she can't understand 2G, but somehow she said these people have made money. This is grassroots level.
You think the same TV is actually returned to haunt them?
Returned.
Sushila, again, one factor here, we'll be looking ahead, the road ahead for the DMK, vis-a-vis the other allies. Now, the DMDK, the rise of the DMDK in this election. Look at it, Vijaykanth couldn't have had it better. First, initially, he said that his alliance was only with God and that he was positioning himself as an alternative, a viable alternative to both the DMK and the AIDMK. Now, he's actually got he's joined hands with Jayalalitha. He was swept to power with the AIDMK. He's now given the number of seats he's got and given the number of seats the DMK has got. He's now the leader of the opposition. So he's actually got the best of both worlds in a sense. And how do you think Vijaykanth will be a threat in the present scheme of things to the DMK, ahead in 2014, in 2016?
I think that will be the most interesting thing to watch out. I mean, why should he be a threat only to DMK? He can be a threat to AIDMK also. Is he going to be the alternative people are longing for? I mean, is he going to be able to emerge? Is he smart enough to do that? Are people going to back him? I think these are the questions which will emerge in the next 2-3 years. How much?
All right. Dayanidhi Maran, as we said earlier, arrived at the Chennai airport. In fact, a very combative Dayanidhi Maran, digging in his heels there, saying that, almost saying that he's not going to resign. Let's try and listen to what Dayanidhi Maran just said a short while ago at the Chennai airport.
May 6, 2009, from the general manager of the Chennai Telephones. The reason I got the letter was, accusation was made by present Chief Minister Jayalalitha when she was the opposition leader, that there was a CBI inquiry on me, that I misused the official position to get 300 lines. I wrote to the Chief General Manager and asked him, please explain to me how many lines are present in my residence, the so-called residence of 3 First Avenue, Boat Club. And let me quote from here. Only one BSNL telephone connection was provided when you were a minister and a member of parliament at your residence. Number 3, First Avenue, Boat Club Road, Chennai 28. Second point, only one telephone connection allotted was 2437-1500 ISDN PRA, and no other BSL telephone connection is provided at the above premises till now. Which state?
All right, Dayanidhi Maran there, of course, answering those allegations about that telephone exchange which appeared in one newspaper today. But very quickly, before I wrap, Sushila and to Sudhangan, the road ahead for the DMK, we've seen, at least observers believe that, in a sense, the various power centers within the DMK first family are actually hitting out at each other. Is there a strain that we are witnessing? We saw the family coming together, but are the cracks now beginning to surface?
Of course, yes. There is a cold war going on. All the revelations that is coming out in the newspapers, one giving information about the other giving the information about this.
All right,
even in Nira Radio tapes, you saw how Ms. Kanimuri spoke about seeing that Dayanidhi Maran doesn't come into telecommunication. That was an open fight.
Sushila?
See, I think the cracks appeared before the elections. Right now, after Kanimari's arrest,
And
the
that also
family
affected
seems to
them.
have sort of dug their heels in. So we don't know what the thinking is. We are all assuming this is how something is happening.
One thing is, as I said earlier, before the election I said, if DMK wins, Kalanjar's family will be saved. If DMK loses, the DMK party will be saved. Now, with all these things emerging, whether the party will be saved or not, that is a billion-dollar question before the DMK volunteers.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sudhangan. Thank you, Sushila, for joining us and sharing these inputs with us. Now it's back to Ashmit Kumar, my colleague, for the rest of the news. Ashmit?
Right, thanks a lot, Sanjay, for that interesting, thoughtful discussion on really the road forward for this Dravidian heavyweight, the DMK. Let's move forward now. And speaking of allegations, well, we heard Dayanidhi Maran coming out denying those allegations about those multiple telephone lines. And earlier, the DMK party itself was threw its weight behind the DMK chief and said, and the DMK fired back at the chorus of voices demanding the Union Minister Dayanidhi Maran's resignation. The party pointed its guns squarely at the Chief Minister Jayalalitha. The DMK argued that if Jayalalitha hasn't resigned on previous occasions to face charges in the court, why should Maran be required to do the same? Well, in more developments from the political spectrum, Tamil Nadu Assembly is gearing up for the first governor's address of the newly formed AIADMK government on Friday. Now, Chief Minister Jayalalitha held consultations with her cabinet 3 times in the last fortnight to finalize the policy decisions and new schemes to be announced in the governor's address. Meanwhile, sources reveal that Governor Barnala may make announcements regarding the free laptops for +1 and +2 students. There is also talk of possible announcements about launch of government-run cable TV corporation. Now, Governor Barnala, according to sources, may even touch upon the status of the new secretariat complex built under the DMK regime. Now, there are high expectations on the governor's address as the ruling AIADMK had officially fulfilled 6 promises it had made in its election manifesto in less than the time of 2 weeks. Well, a day after Chief Minister Jayalalitha announced that parents can complain to her on exorbitant fee charged by schools, several parents whose children study in 17 schools across the city complained at the Chief Minister's cell. Now, scores of parents associated with Federation of Parent Students Welfare Association visited the Secretariat with a memorandum that stressed that the schools should not be allowed to collect a fee over and above what was prescribed by the Justice Govindarajan Committee until Justice Ravi Raj Pandyan Committee comes out with the details of fee structure of 6,400 schools. Now, they have also mentioned in the complaint that the schools are harassing parents and students by refusing transfer certificates or TCs to change schools. They have said that this harassment occurs if the parents protest against the excess fee.
On behalf of Federation of Tamil Nadu Parent Students Association, we came here to meet the Special Secretary to the Chief Minister because yesterday Chief Minister asked the parents to come and to complain about their grievances. So we came here and we submitted a petition.
Well, those were the top stories. That's all we have time for. Keep watching Ndtv Hindu.